You're tuning in to Gone.net.
Welcome back to another Gone.net, another new year. How's the new year treating you?
So far, so good. I'm busy. Not everybody's busy. You know, AI is putting us out of business, but so far, so good. Knock on wood.
I do you see some themes going on today?
Oh, look at that. You got the old mug out. The old mug. I unfortunately have a new mug. My new mug is out.
That's nice. I
another good Star Wars one.
I got one similar to that. I don't have it in front of me, but it is Star Wars themed, and bad jokes about some father. So it's there.
So you're in a Jays hat, which is out of season, by the way. But
I should have put on a Leafs hat because they actually have been not the worst team in the league the last month or so. Well, maybe not month, maybe a few weeks, couple weeks.
And we'll see how much longer I get to wear this hat. Might be done this weekend. Might not. We'll see. We'll see. So, 2026. John, do you want to give your announcement, or should I?
Announce that was the theming going on here with the Xamarin. So,
I didn't see the jacket too.
Yeah. This is these mirrored. These were the best giveaways at the conference. Anyone who got because there was a gray one of the years. Were you there when you got one of them?
No.
Wow. I still wear them. Everyone still wears them. And so after a brief hiatus, I decided that I couldn't stay away from Maui. I couldn't stay away from .NET. So I am back. We are so back. There, nice. And
hoping those work. The sound effects work. You hear them.
I hear them. Hopefully they do. So I'm super excited to be back in this space again. Like I said, quite honestly, I really missed being a part of it, which is part of why I wanted to keep doing this with you too, and the transition before, just because it gave me some tie back to the community and to Maui and everything. So we'll still keep doing this. Of course, it makes it even easier to do because it is kind of more adjacent to my actual work again.
So you're actually doing work now, technically.
Yeah, I mean, it's blurry, but we'll call it that, right?
Well, come on, you're advertising for the product. That's what you're doing.
It's all good. Yeah.
So, what else? What else is going on? Anything you could talk about yet? You know lots about what's going on. You can't talk about anything, can you?
I think I'll have to do the dance again of figuring out what are things that are public, what are things that are technically happening out in the open that maybe we're still not trying to talk a ton about. I think the core CLR stuff isn't a secret to anyone. So I think that might be interesting to mention. So lawn play, the goal is to get core CLR working on Android and on iOS. There's been a ton of work that's happened to get that working on Android already, to the extent that Net 10 has some of that baked in already, right? I know I sent you some instructions for how you can try it on your own apps. There's obviously, it's not ready for prime time, and even though bits are in Net 10, it doesn't mean that it's a supported feature or anything. It's just that we're trying to get stuff out sooner. So Net 11 should have a lot more work going into it, but I will say, having tried my pool app with it, I'm surprised at how far they are already in implementing it. So you can basically toggle the feature, it's use mono runtime, nope, false. And then, like I said, there's caveats to that. Debugging doesn't work right now. That's a we haven't gotten there yet. We'll work on it. We'll get there. Native AOT doesn't work yet with it either. And again, that'll happen. Interestingly enough, I thought that my iOS app was already building and shipping with native AOT turned on. It's not. Um, so native AOT has been a thing, right? Like with the, I mean, mono runtime, whatever, but it's AOT, so it's not really either. But that has been in there for iOS for a while, right? Do you use it in some of your apps? I'm sure, if not all of them.
I wish all of them, but no, not all of them yet.
It's hard to get there, right? Because like everything has to be compatible, and I think like long term, that is the challenge for any of the native AOT stuff. Is like that's the ideal place to be. However, it's not free, right? You got to make sure like all of your dependencies basically work with it. You got to make sure that you can hit the areas of your app that are going to be not happy about dynamic use of things, and either
source generate the world.
Yeah, and that's where we're arriving, right? Which is what your big push with all of the source gen stuff that you've done has been from, if I understand correctly, right? Like that was the main motivation, I guess, or part of the motivation.
And you're nagging
yeah
too, right?
Well, then the other thing, like
you need to get this AOT. And then I was like, okay, so I made some of it AOT, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is quite a bit faster.
Like well, and that's the thing, right? Like it's not just for AOT. The fact that you're source generating stuff that used to be more dynamic, runtime based, that's now compiled, for lack of a more descriptive way to say it. Like it's gonna be faster. So like yeah, it's kind of two advantages, right? If you're source generating all that stuff, even if you're not going to use native AOT, at least it's going to be faster.
Surprisingly, the place where I noticed it the most was it just a simple HTTP request. Now it was I don't want to say it was a lot of JSON. It was like, I don't know, 30, 40K of JSON. So it's tiny. But you notice almost instantaneously how much.
Yeah.
So between the request and then the deserialization portion, it was like instant. And I was like, oh wow. Yeah, okay.
Right. Well, all right, because that's all like, and like what apps don't deal with stuff like that, right? Most apps have some kind of thing, right? So like having that all be compiled and not, parse that runtime is going to be just way better. So
I mean, unless you're using one of the frameworks like what's that?
Like Protobuf and stuff.
Yeah, where it's already kind of done for you, and it's just like aligning bytes.
Yeah,
that's obviously still faster.
Yeah,
but nobody does that. That's compatibility issues.
So I mean, some people do. So I learned actually the other day. Have you ever heard of? I think it's BOLT. Bolt.
Isn't
Microsoft? Well, I'll let you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not it's a dead project essentially. And I don't know. I can't remember if it's Bolt, BOLT, or if it's Bold. Maybe it's Bold, not Bolt. It's like a Microsoft kind of almost version of gRPC, or not gRPC, like protobufs, like serialization. It's funny because I'd never heard of it, and someone's like, oh yeah, the this thing is like no more because it's not really needed anymore because of all the other ways that we do stuff, right? And like protobufs kind of won some of that space out too.
And the tooling for Visual Studio supports protobuf now, so you don't have to do anything.
No, it's good. I've worked with like that stuff in gRPC before, and it's not too bad. But most of the stuff, like JSON, is just easy. So now your apps can be fast because of all that stuff. And then if you're using all the shiny stuff, you're making everything source generated too. So that's all nice and fast. And that'll get us closer to the goal of people being able to turn on native AOT. But in the meantime, those things will just make it faster anyway. And Core CLR, interestingly, is already in some areas faster. We haven't done a huge deep dive on analyzing performance across different kind of areas of apps and stuff. But like, so my app, I gained about 200 milliseconds in startup time. I know we have this talk always where Alan's like, I don't care, that's fine, like big deal. And fair, like that. It doesn't have to super matter. The point is more that it didn't like slow it down by 200 milliseconds more, right? It's at least
to be fair
or better.
I get out in the wild a little bit more than John, so I've seen horror shows where I think I've told you the Android app that took like 20 some odd seconds to load. just because of an engineering practice that this team had, and it was
Yeah,
like,
and usually
God.
that's it, right? It's not the 100 milliseconds of like runtime stuff that's the culprit. It's usually what are you doing in your startup that's causing so much
20
time,
seconds to load.
right? Like what 300 megabyte video are you copying around on disk every time your app starts because you don't know better apparently. That's a real one I've seen in the past.
Yep. I've heard that story many times too.
But it's faster, whether you care or not. The size of apps is a little bit bigger, and I'll lean on your not caring about those things myself there, which is like, I don't know, my app went from like 67 megs to 82 or something like that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't care
Uh,
about file size either. We have that debate all the time too.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Whatever.
It's not significant enough that if it was like 10x bigger, okay, maybe. But it's
Yeah,
like
sure.
20%. And that's just the starting point. That's with like no real analysis and effort to bring it down. And I know the team working on it is like, no, we're gonna actually look at that too. Like we hope to be comparable in size, but um there's probably some low hanging fruit there. So all of that stuff is actually working all right.
You
I'm
can tell
impressed.
John is back in the manager space because he's using his manager terms again.
Yeah, am I? I don't know. It
He's
just
very energetic again.
comes
It's great to
back
see.
naturally. So yeah, core CLR stuff is cool. We're moving in that direction. The other thing that I'm kind of excited about that thing for is technically once debugging and stuff works and is all enabled and the effort is done to make it work, it should work better than what we have today. Because today it's like there was kind of phases of how debugger support has been worked into like VS and VS Code for Maui stuff for mobile apps. And it started with like a really clunky whole way to do it. Eventually part of that got kind of shaved out and it was made to integrate better and it works better. But at some point the like .NET debugger kind of contracts on the VS side of things basically were calling still into the mono runtimes like implementation of their own debugger in the runtime. And there were differences. There's differences in terms of like how features are complete or not. There's differences in behavior enough that it can cause weird things. And so when we're all core CLR, like that just goes away and everything should in theory work the same as if you were debugging a Windows console app. Like it'll work. The features will be the same, inspecting things and like all of the functionality should just be consistent.
Quote him now. Quote him now. Quote him now.
Yeah. I mean, it should.
You're quoted. You're recorded live saying it, so
that's fine.
There's no going back now.
I mean, I'm not the one implementing it for better or worse. Probably better.
You'll be like, I never said that. I never said that. I'll be like, here's the recording, John. Here's the recording.
So,
all right. So
cool stuff.
What are your three? I guess we got to keep it to three, right? What are your three wishes for .NET specific? Well, in general, it can be Maui. You can be all Maui. What are your three wishes?
My three wishes for .NET. Is there
I know I dropped this bomb on him.
Time frame that I have to put those within? Is it just this year?
No, just for for 2026. You can say, I hope we get started on. I mean, that's cheating, but you can.
So one hope that I have, one wish that I have, and if you saw, did you watch any of the community stand up yesterday? Yeah, you did. You watched. You were there for some of it.
Yeah, I watched part of it.
I actually really hope that the Avalonia stuff like comes to fruition and integrates nicely and is quite usable for Maui apps. And as part of that, I'll extend it even farther to say, like, one of the things that I know is being talked about is like, okay, what does the Linux and the WebAssembly platform implementation look like? So what I would love to see, and what I had been pushing for years now, and we even did, meaning Shane, did a spike on like, could we do a WPF backend for Maui that didn't live inside the Maui repo and was not a fork of the Maui repo, right? So like adding a new platform as a backend for a platform, in theory, very doable. But when you actually try to like do it not in the Maui repo, because we don't want to create like this monolithic, community space where if somebody wants to work on like a Linux backend implementation, I don't want them to have to clone the whole Maui repo and build all of the different platform projects and deal with that cruft. Like ideally, we can start isolating these things in their own repos, and it's just the Linux stuff, right? But that is tricky only because like we hadn't really done it before, and so there's going to be gaps in the API and like internal implementation of things that maybe we have some screwy like internal visible what's that attribute that lets you like see is internal visible to or something, and you can
Oh yeah,
specify,
for unit testing.
like
There we go.
that kind of stuff, right? Like there's always kind of gaps there. And so it turns out I think that it's not too bad from more analysis that was done. Like Shane did the original WPF spike, and it was like, yeah, you can kind of do it. You can get like a window up. You can there's the pieces and stuff that maybe needed to be better.
If you just don't mark stuff as public or internal, or you mark it as public and not sealed, put it sealed. You guys still put sealed on things.
It's no for sure. There's those cases
at them.
But it's not always that simple either.
What is this? What is this sealed? What is this doing?
Yeah,
Get that,
I know.
Remove that. Get that off.
I know. Yeah, that's that I don't disagree with. And it's not just those cases though. It's stuff like there, just being no like API hook into how something is set up. Like I think one of the areas still is the there's like we used to have like the messenger service or whatever, but I think it's more to do with the alert manager stuff. So like there's this one weird thing that because of the way it's architected, we have these services that kind of can talk back and forth with the different pieces necessarily for how we pop up alert dialogues or something. And it's stuff like that that's like not maybe currently swap outable. So there's a few things like that. It's not hard to do. It's just kind of identifying where you hit the speed bumps and then fixing them and making it so that it can be done. So like ideally, back to this is my wish is that we get like some of those things stood up so that one, Avalonia can put their stuff on it and it becomes as easy as like adding a NuGet package to your Maui project, having maybe a new TFM or whatever or head project to target, because it gets screwy when you have
there's no TFMs.
There's no TFM. Yeah, exactly. Or like WASM. And
there needs to be. There needs to be.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. I've heard arguments on both sides that are somewhat convincing.
I don't care if they're not a TFM, they're wrong.
So that kind of stuff, is hopefully easy. And then so Avalonia has their drawn stuff and it's looking pretty good. But like at the end of the day, like maybe people in the community want to come along and fill out the native handlers for a Linux button, right? Like if we're on GTK, we need the basics, we need the window, we need the application. There's all like the essentials APIs and stuff, but I think Avalonia has even done previously a bunch of work in some of those areas. And then it's then, and do we want to just use all the drawn stuff? Sure, great. That's an awesome start. But yeah, maybe the community is like, no, I want to have like the native stuff here too. And somebody jumps in and starts contributing to those projects and stuff, right? So that's what I want to see.
A long time ago, he had a little base project.
So that I think is a great foundation and maybe what they're even using, because Javier, of course, is also at Avalonia now too, right? But the challenge with that was always it was a fork of Maui, and so every time, like it just keeping that stuff in sync too is just it's not fun. So having it not be a fork is the goal, and then with that, like even we have Tizen still kind of has some support for Maui, and so moving their stuff out into their own repo, as a result of some of this work is a goal too. So that was my top one. I don't know if I have two others. That kind of counts as three almost. Counts as two at least.
Yeah, it was long enough. Exactly. So I'll give you three out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
So, all right. So I've got for general stuff, Aspire, keep going. That's done some great stuff. I finally got some customers that are jumping on board. It's not as big as people think it is yet. I think a lot of people are seeing the value because a lot of people already would have had Docker Compose.
Mm-hmm.
Some have incredibly huge Kubernetes stuff that I don't dare touch. So, oh boy. But it's starting to slowly catch on. Now, Jon and I are also both home lab guys. We have servers.
Mm-hmm.
And story for local Docker is really kind of, it's not great. It's not great yet. So I'd love to see that continue. More source gen. So my thinking here is, things like DI. DI is the one I've been saying. So imagine when DI becomes source gen. Now that's going to be hard. Not saying it's. I
I,
just keep hoping that
aren't there
something.
some efforts already out there that try to do it, or
Yeah, but it's it's kind of a thing where you really want it all to be done that way or none of it, right?
yeah,
You end up with
fair.
kind of this half baked model. It's like you didn't get the win. And it may not even be possible. And it definitely is not going to be possible for some apps because their DI structure is so complicated that it won't happen. But I
Yeah,
think the day that we get dependency injection and all that stuff source generated, is things are going to be like real nice. Real
yeah,
nice.
and that was always
More extensions on DI or on
yeah,
source gen. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean the DI stuff like we've talked about in the past too, which was we were super hesitant initially in making Maui to like move fully there, right? And it turned out like the performance that there was some original hesitation around, and people thought like, oh, maybe this is not performing very well. It wasn't actually related to that stuff directly. But even still, there is a cost associated with doing it on some level. So yeah, if you can get it source gen, nice.
It should, I don't know. I think we can get there.
Yeah.
And I think when we do, it just becomes one more level of, I don't know. It's because DI can have some runtime startup problems. And if you start source genning that, then that also goes away, right? The more you can do out of the box, even for AI, I know a lot of people are like, no, no more libraries, no more dependencies. AI does it all. Yeah, but when it doesn't, it really, really screws things up. So the more things you can do from a library perspective, and then AI is just forced, you use this crap. You don't go outside of the box.
Yeah.
Those gains become apparent automatically, right? Like it doesn't have to fight with it. Anytime it screws up, you don't need to run it 10 times to see AI, you still screwed up, right? It's
Mhm.
just the tooling's picking it up before you're even out of the gate, like pressing F5. So that's my second wish. I don't think it'll happen this year, but I can wish for it. The last and least favorite, Orleans, just keep doing it. I know they're almost on a version 10.
More
If you haven't
leans.
done Orleans.NET Orleans is hot. It's hot. Can do so much fast things. There's so many people I know that are on things like Kafka because it's free.
Mhm.
There's been actor frameworks for years. Like it's not new. Um, but there hasn't been, and there are actor frameworks. There's some great ones in the .NET community. I'm not saying that at all. But to get companies to pay the money to get on board, it's like, nope, Kafka's free.
Nobody. Yeah.
And if you've used Kafka, Kafka does wonderful things, but you need to have a PhD in configuring it, right? Like it's you pay one way or the other. So even I think Event Grid is partially based on Kafka and all that stuff, and even that is like sometimes it's you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it's too much. It's too heavy, and Orleans isn't too heavy. It's once you know how the bits and pieces fit together. I'd say there's like 6 or 7 pieces. Oh god, I said 6, 7.
Oh
If
no.
my daughter watches this, I'm gonna eat it. Um, if it's there, right? Like if you once you understand those few pieces, 6, 7, um, it's a very small framework that does really well at what it does.
I think
So
like
just give me more,
the
more.
well,
Just
and the other
come.
part is it's the built with .NET in mind, right? So obviously, like a lot of things are just going to integrate and be easy to use with it. That's always like maybe one of the if you're going to try and find a downside is like yeah, then you kind of get expertise on this one thing that doesn't translate outside of this space. But at the same time, like okay, if it works, like yeah, why wouldn't you use it anyway? Like when if you're not like jumping tech stacks and going to some other company and trying to deal with like Kotlin and in the same sort of environment, who cares? Use the thing that
Right.
works nicely.
Well, and the thing is that they were on the .NET release cycle, right?
Hmm.
For one release. So I think when they went version 9, so with .NET 9, they were like, "Hey, we're Orleans version 9."
Yeah,
And then this year they were like, "No, no, we're
we're
back
still
on
nine.
10." So they're now but now they're working on a version 10,
Okay.
and it's in RC. So lots of great stuff coming
But
there.
you don't have to use like 9 still works fine on the .NET 10, right?
Yep,
So it's not
yep.
like yeah.
You don't have to use it, but really the way that they grow it and the gains that you get for the minimal amount of work you have to do is, I don't know. It's probably, to me, it's one of the best frameworks that Microsoft makes. Because they've made all these other ones for like dealing with microservices and stuff like Dapper, and that's DAPR or whatever. And I
Yeah.
looked at that, I was like, holy crap, how did we get here? Right? Like, and then you look at Aspire, and not to say Aspire is easy, but the concept of what it does is easy, right? So you can bring in NPM
Right.
apps, you can bring in Python apps, you can bring in .NET apps, and the concept is easy. But you look at Dapper and you're like, yeah, I think I'm good. I'm going to pass. Hard pass, actually. It's like you can just fold that. And I think it's like one of those frameworks, again, that Microsoft was like, yeah, it's great. And then it just kind of, we'll just move that along. I think, I'm pretty sure it's dead. Don't quote me on that. But if it's not, it should be.
I haven't heard it mentioned in a while. So yeah, I wouldn't.
Excellent.
I wouldn't
Let it
say
die.
Yeah.
Let it die.
Yeah.
So that would be my 3 asks.
Okay, I have to go back and give my third now too, because
okay, all right.
So this is going to be more of a catch-up show than anything, and not like the tomato ketchup. Just anyway, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Basically.
There we go. My sound effects.
So my third is just the advancement in general of XAML. So have you used the XAML source gen stuff?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I don't notice it, and I know it's been advertised as a performance improvement, but I'm not really sure
is,
how.
But noticing it is almost like not noticing it is maybe great in a lot of ways.
It should speed up your build time, right?
So that's part of it. Speeding up build time. It is technically, faster at runtime. So that's part of it too.
How is that? Well, you know what? Don't explain it.
Yeah. That's
IL translation or C# translation.
It is. Well, so it's very close, I guess, is maybe the better argument.
So are we talking about like 50 milliseconds in this case?
Oh, probably not even, because like you said, we used to have IL, and so I will say for debug builds, it's way faster. For debug run sessions, right? Because you used to have, unless you explicitly turned on XAML compilation and debug before, now you actually have compiled XAML in debug. It's also more consistent between debug and release, so you don't hit like, why the heck does this thing not work in release, but it works fine in debug. But that's all water under the bridge at this point. That was the precursor to the continuing improvements and evolution of XAML that I'm talking about, that I want to see. So there's a few things coming in a shorter time frame. A lot of it is more behind the scenes stuff that maybe you won't notice as much, or that will improve things and you don't know to directly attribute them to the changes. C# hot reload will get better with this, because we can stop, eventually we're going to stop probably doing the XAML based reloads. It's just going to be, we have C# for all of this, so we're going to reload the C#, and that's going to apply the changes. So that kind of stuff is cool, but there's some specs that we have for improving, like the way that like initialized component is generated into smaller chunks and works better with stack allocations and stuff, and the compiler can do a better job of optimizing some of the parts, and some things could be lazy even in the whole execution that we for now just have this one big block of code. So there's improvements coming here. The thing that I'm kind of most excited to eventually see happen, and I don't know if this will be for Net 11, but I think we'll see some demonstrations of it this year at least, which is doing stuff like adding expressions into XAML bindings. So instead of being stuck with just my converters, or having to mess with my view models to adapt to do what I want, basically give me a way to write some C# expressions in my XAML in my binding, so that if I'm doing something stupid like, if the value is this, use this color, otherwise use that color, I can do it there. I don't have to do a converter. I don't have to mess with my view model code, whatever. So that is one that I'm actually really excited for. But it's the
I
whole
would be
improvement in the space in general.
so I'm not sure so I'm not doing a ton of XAML anymore.
Yeah,
I
fair.
mean, I'm all Blazor. What do you think about Blazor hot reload in Maui? Because that's
Blazor
been a
hot load
notorious
in
challenge.
Maui.
That
Yeah,
has been a notorious challenge right now. Basically, what happens is you end up with a web debugging client,
yep.
and then you embed that in Maui. But to actually hot reload inside of it has been a pain in the arse, right? And I think a lot of people are going that route because you can reuse skill sets.
Yep.
Razor's pretty hot. You can do a lot of that stuff already, like with expressions, right? Because Razor's
Yeah.
had like
Yeah, exactly. That's
mini
where a lot of
memes and
this
people.
jealousy comes from, is seeing Razor, where you're like, why can't I just do this in my XAML? Like, this would
Yeah,
make
I
sense.
just want to put an if statement and say if it's this,
Right.
do this path, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the magic of Razor. And I think that's why there's a bit of an uptick for it. Not to diss XAML. I love XAML.
No, for
Just
sure.
there's
I
maybe we make if
know.
blocks in XAML. Hmm.
Mm, yeah,
Mm.
maybe.
Uh,
I do know
I think
that.
I just made John gag though. Um,
I do believe there is, more work happening in that space too. I don't know if specifically on the hot reload of, Blazor inside a Maui app, but I know there's like more generic Blazor and hot reload related things being looked at and worked on and improved. So hopefully, that's a space that can work better. And if there's, stuff that's easy to point at in terms of like, hey, this just doesn't work, that's easier to kind of get somebody to look at.
oh, thank you, John. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
nagging's coming. He just mutes me though for an hour or so when I
Yeah,
do
probably.
that, but that's all right. I can live with that. Once you know, hey, that's all right. So I guess the other things, the things I've been waiting, because obviously you already took my WebAssembly and Linux is coming from Maui, which is great.
Mhm.
Avalonia, Swift and Kotlin bindings, I bug David about frequently.
Yeah.
Well, Swift might, I don't know. We keep hearing about it. Who knows? Is it coming? Is it not coming?
I mean, the whole that whole area is definitely a space that is known that there's, demand for, that people want to see improvements on. I don't know that this is the year of that getting super improved, but it is on it's on the list, right? Like we know it's a spot that needs some love. So, and I would also say that, given my history, like, I still have an affection for the whole world of bindings and interop. So I definitely want to see that improved. And
I
there's
mean,
ideas how
Kotlin's
to
not
do it.
hard to get around anyways because it's still Java.
It's still Java, but yeah, it's like the ultimately, like, APIs that you get out of that for bindings are just gross, right? Like,
Right.
generics have never been nice in either of those.
Async.
Like,
Async is a problem for
async is,
Kotlin.
yeah. So
But Swift, I mean, to do the interop, it isn't bad, but you have to like basically emit the entire API and all the objects
mhm.
if you need it. Right. I think when we did the Firebase stuff, we cheated. So like it was like, I'm just going to make our own methods for Firebase
Yep.
messaging. And I'm going to put Objective-C headers on this because you don't really need the objects, right?
Right.
At least at the base core. I mean, some people are going to be like, why didn't you bring this out? And it was like, well, yeah, but no. If you need it, you just got to bring it out yourself and put all the
Yeah.
Objective-C headers on it and
Yeah.
cry as you do it. But maybe one day there's some stuff where we could see it. So
Yeah, I think the goal is more, yeah, like, can we make it easier to interop directly with Swift instead of like doing the whole Objective-C headers and that whole dance and everything, right? So that's the idea. We'll get there. It's just, the world that we live in now, of course, is like, we have, X amount of resources. We have to choose which buckets to put them in for a given time frame, and beyond that, it's just a matter of time. We'll get to those things.
I'll keep nagging in the meantime. That's how it goes. So before the new year, I ended up really screwing up on a stream, right? It was
Yeah, we couldn't figure out,
we had a
was the
massive tech
migrations
debt.
stuff.
So it turns out it was one stupid thing I had done, but it was also because I updated the SDK. So everything was failing.
Right.
And as I do with my Mac, I go ahead and I blow away all .NET, install the last version, and then I install the latest version, and then I install the workloads. So I had to go through and do that because my installation at the time was very broken. Guess when I installed the SDK? About an hour before we did our stream.
Yeah.
So I didn't test it. Well, to be fair, I didn't press F5 to run the app. So that was, I mean, and David Orton wasn't even around. I love to blame him because every time I'm on a stream with that guy, he's like, it's only happened once. I'm like, no, dude, pretty much every time. Every time I'm on a stream with you, something fails. So anyhow, I updated the SDK an hour beforehand and it was punching me in the face. So now I am back for revenge. So I can finish this because I already tested it today. And just to prove it, I'll put it on
You didn't
stream.
go update you didn't go update things again?
I did a couple days ago, right? But today I didn't. Today it's pretty clean. So we got our app, we got our API, we got our app host, we got all that stuff we've been working on with our what are we calling this? Where are you? So our GPS tracking on kind of high frequency Orleans. Let's press F5 today and see what happens. So just to prove that, let's pull up Docker. Nope. There we go. Everybody can see my password. So no volume, images, no containers yet. Good. And now we will press F5 and let's see what the heck happens here. I could swear I just saw an error, so we'll see what the heck's going on.
So did you already ran the migration stuff?
Yeah. So because we had finished the code, it just wasn't running.
Yeah.
So now we'll see what the heck is running. It's going. Is it going to open my app?
Things are popping up there.
All right, let's see if everything goes green. So give it a minute. So it's going to go do, so like we had last time, it's going to go do our Postgres. It's going to create the database, which we're not using. It's doing ngrok stuff. That's just for routing so John can blow up my server.
Oh, I don't even think I have that handy anymore.
Oh, see, well, that's a shame. That's a shame. It's creating all of our blob storage stuff for our Orleans setup. And there's our DB migrations, which it actually erred about something, or it's angered about something anyways. There's our Orleans silo up and running and our web API. So apparently it's all there. Let's see what it complained about. Oh, it just complained because it had to create the database for the first time.
Oh, well,
so
stop whining and just do it.
Yeah, well, I don't know why that's an error. Like, who cares? Create the database and shut up. Maybe that could be like a warning, not a fail. Yeah. So you see it went and created our table, which is like one stupid thing. And even says DB migration complete. So last time we had just this stupid little app, right? So we've got our, this is a console app. It's DB migrations. We've actually put our DB migrations for NDD framework here. So if you're in Rider, it's pretty cool because you can just go right click, NDD framework, add migration, etc., and it'll do all that stuff for you. So we generated our migrations. We used Aspire to create our service defaults, to create our app-DB context. We have to do a little bit of freaky stuff with dependency injection, whatever, not the big deal. And then we have to run the migration. So it's pretty easy, right? Like this is going to either create the database or it's going to be like, hey, you're on version 1, we need version 2, and it'll do all the stuff. And we can even check like, hey, did the DB exist before? If it didn't, let's go ahead and seed it.
Right.
And we don't have any seeds. I'm not doing any seeds. It's more for an example. But this is the easiest way to do it. Now, the one thing people go, well, why don't you just put that in your app? I don't know. Am I old or something? I know, John, you used to be like a DBA.
Yeah.
What would you say if code was going to go update production? Just willy-nilly. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Get that out of
Is
here.
I mean, I know I don't know any DBA that wouldn't scream bloody murder about it, so
Yeah.
I get it. I'm also very paranoid about it. Now, again, if you're gonna run it from an app, Entity Framework's pretty good at dealing with it, but how many databases are pure nowadays where they don't have some old school, some weird
Somebody ran
column,
something somewhere and built something
right?
somewhere.
And it's like, and then this thing is like, I don't know what's going on, man. It's not taking my data. This can do like some funky data moves on you, right? If you just let it have its way and you don't control the migration, so you do the auto migrations,
Yeah.
it can be risky. So I choose to put this app as like it's just an app. I don't put it right into my my APIs or my, I don't know why you'd put it in a Maui app. That would be bad.
Yeah.
But you could put it in your Orleans server. I just don't
Right.
do it because
Yeah. Save
then
it
you're at
for
the
this
mercy.
part. Yeah. Yeah. Run it
And the
when
good thing
you
about
know you've backed up and you're happy to try it and see if it fails to restore, right?
right. So this is pretty good for debug scenarios or like when you're starting fresh with Aspire. The
Yep.
other thing I like to do is that if this is in production and now we've done a whole crap ton of tests to say, yeah, the DB migration is working from 1 to 2, let's go ahead and run it on production. And then you can take the CLI at that point, run it with it configured against production, and boom, it works. Or if it, at least if it fails, the migration will just roll back, right? Because it's all transaction, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I usually do it. I usually make it a separate thing. Aspire tends to get confused and be like, "Hey, this must be a Docker thing as well," which I guess isn't the end of the world. Like a lot of Docker containers are just basically there for CLI commands.
Yeah.
But if you're
Yeah.
running
As
this
long
in
as
the
it's not
cloud,
running
it's
it
like
automatically. Yeah.
it'll run
Like
it once
not
and then it'll
running.
turn it off.
Right.
The container. You don't want the container just running, sitting there waiting for
Yeah.
you to
Exactly.
issue commands. So that's the one thing this does. There are ways in Aspire, I think, to shut it down, but I haven't figured them out yet. But that's just kind of how I do it. It's a bit of a safe, old man fashioned way of doing things, while still being able to kind of, like in dev, like as you can see now, we should be up and fully running. Like if I go to resources, like everything's done. And if I go to my Docker, my dashboard here, there's our storage,
Yep.
which you can see is going insane because that's just Orleans bouncing around. We've got our, God.NET API. Actually, this is, I'm not sure which one that is, which container that is. And then we've got ngrok, which is forwarding to our API. There you go, John. There's your URL. You need to forward
See
it
if
to
it
me.
works.
And let's see if it works.
Yeah. Look, that's my IP right there. Right in your
What's
logs.
that?
That was my IP address right in your logs.
Well, you're already hitting it.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything.
Well, we need the endpoint
I think
too, right?
it
So
worked. I think it worked.
Did I not put scalar in this? What did I do? I must have put scalar in this, did I not? I guess I didn't. I guess we do. It went, so scalar is just like the replacement for ngrok or nswag and all that stuff, or swagger.
Oh, okay.
What did I make the endpoint? Let's go back here. Program.
Well, it looks like it returned a 200 when I hit it, so seems like it worked.
GPS drivers. So we turned off some of the stuff. That's all right. All right. So, oh, there it is. GPS. It just took a second to get this going.
Yeah.
So there, we've got all of our stuff. John, are you bombing me? Or
No, I ran it once, and then I forgot that I made a script to just sit there and do it. But I'm not sure where I put it. That's the problem. I'll find it, I'm sure.
Failed to fetch. What have I done wrong here?
There it is. There you go.
Oh, I think you know what I made it. I started to so GPS. We might not have created you a company yet. So let's set some breakpoints here and see what's going on.
Oh yeah, you'll get some.
I think. What's that?
You'll get some. You'll get some breakpoints hit.
Well, let's see. Go ahead.
You
Okay,
should.
so
Yeah.
driver name.
Just,
You're giving me null, man. Why are you giving me
what?
null?
I'm not giving you null. Something's there. You go.
Oh no, hang on. There we go.
It was there.
Okay. Reds, but
Yeah.
I don't think you're. I think this is bombing out because you don't exist.
Oh, I exist.
Do you exist? I exist on this thing. Well, let's go ahead and see. Well, it returned 200, so obviously it does think you exist. Because I think at some point we were going to do like saving this. Let's see. Driver grain. Go ahead and bomb me, John. Bomb it.
All right. There you go.
All right. So we got our driver grain. It came in. Okay. It's okay with you. And then it's going to set the driver name. Okay, good. So that all is working.
Okay.
There we go. So that's pretty. Let's see. So we got our driver grain. So I think what we wanted to add to this now was the ability to, because we've got these persistent state. So I shut it down. So you can't bomb me now.
Well, I turned it off. I'm not that mean.
Well,
okay. Sometimes.
Sure.
Today I'm not. I'm feeling good today.
So one of the things that people often try to do is this is like a JSON blob. So when it runs, it's basically all of the state. So if you put a lot of records in it,
Okay.
well, that's probably not what you want. And GPS coordinates, you're going to get a lot. Like it's going to be a lot, right? You really don't want a lot, but it's going to be a lot. So don't do that, right? It's not really meant for like logs. It's meant for like current state or maybe a few past states.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe you keep like a bound number of items in a list and just
right,
first in first out.
Which yeah, you could do that, and because we know it's all thread safe, it's a good place to do this stuff. But often like these GPS coordinates, I still want to track your ass. I don't want to keep the last two. I want to know where you're going so I can,
right,
whatever weird stuff I'm doing, stalking you for whatever reason, right? We want to record those coordinates to say like a shipping driver, right? Did you actually drive the route?
The path, yeah.
So you can't just do like an app DB context, whatever. You can't ship that in here.
Okay.
Because the DB context is how do I describe it? It is per scope, right? So it's
okay.
you use it, you get rid of it. So if you do that here, it's going to be stuck for a long time, and you really don't want that. So what you really want is they have that IDB context factory, which I'm hoping this is going to light up. There we go. See, it did light up. Kind of lit up. Not all the way, but some of the way. So we'll see. Did I move our data library into here yet? Projects. Okay, so we got the grains. We don't have didn't add the reference for this yet. What am I doing, man? What am I doing? There we go. And we'll give it a second to figure out that I did indeed just put a library in there.
I was going to say that already has the references to the
let's go right here. Well, it's indirectly, yeah. So packages, EF core. There we go. It just had, as usual, Ryder took a second to figure its stuff out. So now we got our DB context factory. So now we can start storing the things. So if I do DB context factory dot create, I'm not going to do async. We don't really need to worry about that. So I'm going to use var DB.
Gonna yell at you to not use it though, right?
What's that?
Oh, it's gonna squiggle. Squiggle complain. You could use it. You could use async.
Fine. You know what? Fine.
Just make it happen.
I'll just do it. Yeah. There. So we're gonna do that, and now we can do user check-ins. Add. I'm not gonna do async.
Come on.
Save it. No, I'm gonna save it async for crying out loud. What is wrong with this thing? Not everything has to be async. Quote me on that, John. Quote me on it.
No.
No, you don't want to? Okay.
No, I don't. You're not gonna.
All right, let's see what we got. So heading, we'll record that. And location. Do we include that? Yeah, we did. Latitude. Come on, AI. There we go. Now it's catching. There we go. Driver name.
That's not all
Driver
that
name isn't in
big.
there. Let's see where I put that. What is that? User identifier.
Yeah, I was
Of course, I
gonna say
didn't call
probably
it
have an
driver.
ID.
There we go, which is a string. What else did I miss in here? Speed, that long. I think that's it. And the ID. Oh, I got to set an ID.
I was gonna say, don't you have to give it a new one? It won't do that by default, right?
I'll do the good. There we go. So that's it. Beauty. Now, if we go back to, so this is the implementations, right? So this doesn't, well, I've said, hey, yeah, I want to use the DB Context Factory. You still have to do it in your silo, which is where you spin all these things up. So where's my silo here? Near, which one is it? Maui, Orleans server. There we go. So we've got our program here. So we've done add our service defaults from Aspire, add our Orleans requirements to get like the blob storage and all that crap for testing, and add our DB context. Now the true is register as DB factory, and as opposed to the standard app DB context. And then we go in here. And so that now this dependency should be available. And if we go back to Aspire, or we go back to our app host, you can see our silo. So this is the actual running server for Orleans. We've got, with reference to Orleans, with clustering, with reminders, with streaming, with Crane Store, with Pub Store, like all these things, and with database. And ultimately, we're waiting for all those services to spin up, but we're also now waiting for the DB migrations to finish.
Right.
So until DB migrations runs, the silo won't run, and the web API won't run until the silo runs. So you've got like this chaining effect of stuff. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and run this, and then John can get ready to bomb me again. And hopefully we don't have any errors. And if we do, then so be it. We just showed how to do it.
Well, it doesn't like it yet.
Well, dude, come on. I'm streaming and I'm
wait. Yeah, I know. Waiting for your slow machine.
Well, at least one of the things with Aspire is that I can say like, hey, the DB's already there. Don't create a container. Don't recreate the database. So migration should run like instantly now, because it doesn't need to do anything. Drink coffee, relax. It's going. See, look at everything's already running, man. What are you on?
Oh, there we go. Now it took it.
So DB migrations is already, well, it's running. It's funny, these are already running too, but not yet. So let's see here. Should be up. That's up. The silo's up and running. John is already bombing it. He's not even waiting for me to set a breakpoint.
No, I'm trying. It's still trying to. It's still thinking. It's still, the request is still pending.
I wonder if
maybe I should just kill it and start again.
Just wait for ngrok. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we're going to update location. And it's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. Did it stop thinking about it?
Does it go into the next thing? I can start again.
Yeah, did you anchor? Okay, there we go.
There you go.
There we go. So now we see what it's anchored about. So there we go. We got our DB context.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do this. It's going to create that. Man, it's because I've got the console open and it's doing so much. There we go. That was a long save. It's doing a few things.
It's trying. I think I can.
Yeah, it's gonna go. It's just it's confused right now. But that is essentially how you want to do these big points. I got to turn off the debugging. Look at how insane it goes. It's just like crazy. You can't even catch a break. It's awesome. Go back to this. Oh, look, you're still bombing it.
Well, I think it's previous requests. Like I did a couple.
So everything's catching up now.
Yeah.
From John bombing me. Yeah, look at it's angered now. I got too much
I
CPU.
stopped it. That's all. Only whatever was in the queue still that's going.
Now the debugger's angry and stuff. It's like, this isn't meant for multi-threading, man. What are you doing? So again, kind of going back to the reason we do this is I wouldn't use the DB to pull information from necessarily in a grain, but certainly for stuff like logging. So this point, the last known location is obviously the one that's the current state. That's the one we care about the most.
Yeah.
But where they've checked in as this changes, I still want to track it. So this is how we get our logging without trying to store it all to our grain state, which will ultimately.
And to be fair, like putting it all in the grain state probably wouldn't have been what you wanted anyway. Like you're going to want to do something with that history of GPS updates anyway, right? Like,
right.
So like you don't want to have to go pull it out of the grain to do like analytics on stuff or something.
Right. You really want it in the database where you can start analyzing like trips and how long did it take? One of the things I did end up doing once upon a time was I would store, so for a fleet application I store all of the GPS, because even if you get, I don't know, 300 or 400 GPS in there, like that's not a huge JSON file. Like it's not a huge blob. And then when they check out at the end of the day for that trip, that's when I commit the entire blob into the database. So it's like a, I don't know, how's the best way to describe that? It's like, let them do their day and then put it in to the database for it to figure out how it's going to do it. Now you have to be careful with that. Just depends on how you want to go at it, but it saves you a little bit of DB traffic throughout the day.
Yeah.
Especially with DB stuff coming in constantly. Like these are going to be writing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff to consider there.
You could also do like some, way to batch it up, right? So store when you hit like the list of history in your grain state is, 100, maybe dump it out to the database once or something.
Right. And now the thing is if like you can't really query across grains very well. Like if you wanted to say like, give me all the drivers and then give me all the GPS, like it's really got to go. A lot of people don't understand. You remember the N+1, right? They had the term N+1.
Yep.
That's where you load the parent and then you load all of its children. You load the parent, you load all of its children. Well, if you do that with grains, if you're like, hey, load up the parent grain, now go get all of its GPS coordinates or something, it's going to be like, it's going to do a lot of grains. It's going to fire up those grains, right? So you can introduce a lot of overhead doing that. So you got to be careful, right? It's if it seems like you're doing things wrong or it feels wrong, it probably is wrong.
Yeah.
So don't go spinning up 4 million grains just because you wanted to read data out of it. That's what the database is for. And because it's there now, like if we go back to our API and let's see here, and let's say I wanted to add a map get, what do we call this? Driver coordinates? I don't know. Driver position. I don't know. What am I doing here? Coordinates. And we'll do async. I don't think the only from service we'll need is the actual. I don't even know if I've installed the DB context here yet. App DB context. I can never see around my mic. Need a better setup, John. Need a better setup. Okay, so we've got our async here. We've got into that. I've got a from service. I'm going to close that off. What are we still angry about here?
Services.
I'm running. From services, you're right. There we go. And then this should emerge.
There we go.
There we go. So now I could do user check-ins. Come on, IntelliSense. Where? I guess we need the driver name.
Yeah.
So we need the driver name. We could do ret.
Sure.
We could put it in here. Let's put.
Just make it a parameter or that
user identifier. And then we'll go. How do we want to do this? Order by descending X timestamp. Come on, AI. And you know what? Maybe we'll just restrict this for now to take 50 and then to list async. And then we need that parameter. And we'll just do string user identifier. So now anybody can track you, John.
Sweet.
Anybody.
Sweet.
That's how we want it, right? Order by descending. Did I miss anything? What is this complaining
not
about?
happy about your not awaiting.
No, well, I haven't awaited it yet. Like, come on, give me a second. Give me a second. Because I did async.
Yeah.
I just do return this task. Just return.
There you go.
There. Be happy. See, I didn't even need to do an async await. It's just there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We good now?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if my debugger goes crazy. Don't bomb me away.
I'm not.
Well, you aren't. Maybe somebody else is. Anybody else on the stream today?
Mm-hmm. And then I think
Then we're done for today.
I think we're good. Have you do you have like a Postgres dashboard hooked into there to get into stuff too?
Did I? Let's see.
Whatever one you use, because it seems like multiple of them work nicely in Aspire.
So Aspire has, out of the box, they have, where's my app host? Here's my app host. Did I spin it? I'm pretty sure I did. So I have create our database. It's probably in our debug. I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't spin it. Really? Why wouldn't I do that? Let's do with PG admin, I believe. There we go. With PG web. With PG admin, what the heck's the difference? Let's do that.
Yeah, I don't know what PG web is, but
let's see. Did they change it? No, it's because I've already started it. Yeah. There, but see, I added it. So this is going. All right, let's see if our new endpoint. Did you already create the new endpoint, John, or am I?
I haven't touched it yet. No.
Okay, let's open up Scalar again. Let's just do. So this is a great thing about Aspire. You can just do that, and I should be able to do Scalar. There we go. See our new endpoint, and hopefully John is in there. Considering identifier is red. You might not be because I broke the debug mid-transit, but we'll see how this goes.
It's trying.
It's thinking
do you have breakpoints set up there? Is it something pausing? No.
It's just debugging. That's how the fun goes with this. Let's see. Let's put endpoint. So we don't need our grains to run. Did I even install? So where's my API? API. Go to program. Oh, you know what? It's going to crash because I haven't even added. I didn't even add the stuff for our DB context. That's a fail.
Yeah.
There we go. Who cares if this runs? We're done. We're done for today. It worked anyways, right?
It works.
Did I get revenge for last year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was a screwy, place to be in, and it's always those like little weird things too that it's like I don't know how to solve this quickly, and it's not obvious.
Oh, there's PG admin speeding up now too.
It's going.
Go. That one's probably downloading. Sometimes when it's downloading the Docker image, it takes forever. The one thing I don't like, and I know you can do this with Aspire as well, is it tends to grab old packages, right? So if you haven't updated Aspire, it's going to go for like what the version was that they used at the time.
Yeah. Whatever one they knew about.
I mean, not at the end of the world, but
Fine. But you can override that in your Aspire stuff too, right? You can give it the exact image and tag
yeah,
you.
yeah, and then it's like you can give it any image technically, and then it doesn't know any better, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if this is going
Well,
to go.
it returned, just it didn't return anything. I
Well, I
wonder if
think
I
it's
need
because I
to.
told you. Oh, there we go.
Do I need to? Here, let me get some stuff in there again.
If you can see, even debug breakpoints aren't hit right now. Why is it angry about breakpoints? Come on, baby. There we go. It's hitting. Data's there. And we'll see.
Yeah, return nothing for me, but I'm trying to add some stuff in too because I thought maybe somehow it didn't have things in the DB defined. Should. Not like you wiped that.
Yeah, the breakpoint's not being hit. There's too much going on.
Yeah, I think it's all struggling because I'm still trying to post the update and it's still the request is still trying, still going.
Shouldn't be doing remote. It's because we're remote debugging.
Yeah. However, I think we can
We're
reasonably
done.
say that
30 seconds for it to hit that.
Hit the button so it doesn't time out.
Oh, I think it's going to time out here too as well. Because
Yeah.
like it's going, actually, what is it? That's all of those requests are whatever's going on. I might have to turn off
So there's something
Orleans,
clogging things up.
well, I might have to turn off or at least make it far less aggressive. Wow, look at 60 seconds for it to get going on this query.
Yeah.
I'll have to silence it or something. But for now, we are working end to end. So we got our DB. We're storing stuff from Orleans. We are returning it for the most part if my system ever keeps up. But I think the one thing is that I would turn off if I go into our Orleans server. I think this guy makes a lot of noise in the depth.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I will cancel it for even the debugger's about to come up and say, yeah, we've had enough. But that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it for our app. We've got our scalable GPS client that we can now add stuff to if we wanted to.
Cool. And this is all posted in the GitHub repo, right?
It will be in a second.
Well, link. Yeah, no, I mean, it's there, and then so people can go and take a look at it and see how to structure this kind of setup and all the moving pieces, and like it's nice because like I don't think there's a ton of like canonical examples of this sort of thing either, especially that involve like Maui, client apps and everything. So it's kind of cool to have a good example.
And this is how you bomb your server with GPS coordinates.
That's right.
Without paying a fortune for it.
Awesome. Well, I think that'll do it for today. So tune in next time. We'll have something new going, and we'll see you soon on gond.net.
Bye-bye.